Good morning. It's been a while. Thank you for subscribing and watching. Things going pretty well. I'm finishing Roots now. Um, haven't been reactivated from Uber yet, but when things settle down and the hours lower, I'm gonna do some of that and just furnish the apartment. So when it comes to like tips that I've learned, not that I'm a professional postal carrier yet, I like to drop the packages off first on my way to a park point because you'll have loops, right? A loop is usually like a street. And then you'll have a park where you'll park, obviously. And then the loop is the mail that you're going to walk on that street. So sometimes you have a lot of packages that are boxes and you can't really carry them around. So what I've done is on the way to the park point, if my park point's in the middle of the street and I have two loops, one for the beginning and one for the end, I'll drop off the packages to the park point. Then I'll take the first loop and then I'll take the second loop, put it in my satchel. And then I'll walk the loops. And then on my way to the next park point of the next street, I drop off the packages. I have gotten carried away about dropping off packages on the whole street all at once. And then I see a whole next street. I'm like, screw it. I'll knock out those packages. And then I knock out the next street thinking I'm doing something really good. And I mean, on one level, yeah, you're getting rid of the packages. Now all you have is mail. But if you get too far ahead of yourself, then you're going to actually not help yourself. So I've learned keep it to the loop. If you're going to let go of your packages for that whole loop, that's good. But don't get too far ahead of yourself because then you're kind of making it, you're going to end up doing it slower, even though in the mind you're thinking you're going to make it faster. Now, if like I've made a mistake, I missed the turn, and now I'm on the next street, which I know I'm delivering for, okay, I'll make use of the mistake and I'll drop the packages on the street because I accidentally missed the street that I was supposed to be on, and now I'm on the next street and I have packages for it. In that case, I make use of a mistake and I'll drop the packages on that street because I've made a mistake. And so I don't want to pass an address I have work for. So that's something that I've learned for myself. What I like to do, I mean, they have a scanner and you load. Yeah, you scan and you load it. But sometimes packages don't work. So I still use that feature, but I don't really use that feature. I load the truck. If I know the street order, a lot of times I'm on a route I've never been on before. Like yesterday, I've never been to Westfield. Here I'm on a route I've never been on before. So I might not know the street priority. I'm trying to be fast. I'll glimpse at the case and I'll see it, but then I'll forget. But yeah, by street. I order the packages in order by the street. Because even if the loop is doing it otherwise, oh, okay, makes sense. You're doing odds and evens. So what? If you have the packages in order, you know where they are. Then it's every other package. So you don't have to worry about, So it's easy. By order, by street. You load the truck. And what I do is I'll write as I load it on a piece of paper on my notepad the street name and then the numbers Of course, the numbers are on the box. So then when I'm driving, I have that notepad on my floor of my truck. I see the numbers of the stuff that I have in the back. I know instantly what I have really quick by a glance. Click. I know what's the next highest or the next lowest. So I can, so then it saves me all the time of having to hit escape on the scanner, hitting package load, and then looking. That takes a while. And if you're going to do that quite often, you're going to waste a lot of time. So having that piece of paper takes 2 seconds to see it, right? So it's quicker than having to constantly look at the page, So people will be, well, just use the scan feature. Well, sometimes it doesn't recognize a package, but it's still slower when you're doing it that way. So if you have it on a piece of paper, it only takes like a second to put down the number, then you're not going to forget what you have in the back. And sometimes I'm looking for something, I just don't happen to find it, even though I do put it in the back in numerical order and it shuffles around. And then I'm thinking, no, I don't have it. But then I'm like, yeah, I wrote it down. That means I have it. And then I find it. So now I'm not forgetting packages. And that's huge. You don't want to miss, and you want to do it correct the first time. And this is a tool that has helped me. And I'm loading the truck pretty fast now. It may take a few reps, but you're going to get it. It makes a world of difference, because what kills your time is backtracking. If you backtrack, if you miss something, you're always scanning in your brain. So at the start of a loop, what packages do I have? Look on a piece of paper, boom, you see the numbers. Okay, the RSS, they typically want you to have 2 bundles, which makes sense. You don't want to have 4, because that's a pain in the ass. 3, it's doable. Now, sometimes some people, they'll take the RSS, that's a group of like pretty much big flats, like magazines and shit. And they'll put it in with their flats, which are magazines and overflow from yesterday or whatever. And then you have your DPS, which is your small envelope mail. That's all in order because the machine does it. And it's in a tray. You don't have to mess with that. So sometimes some people will take the RSS and they'll combine it with the flats, which makes sense. Now you have 2. However, technically, by the rules, some offices and some supervisors are less micromanagerial, and some don't really care as long as you're not really telling them. So if you case the RSS in with the flats, the case is the order of the delivery by street and by number. So therefore, the loose mail, you put the mail into the number to the street. Then you pull it down in order, put it into a tray. So then therefore, you're following the mail. You're following the mail. You go wherever the mail tells you to go, and you're delivering it, right? So therefore, you take the RSS, that 3rd bundle, and you put it in with the flats that you're doing with that. And then boom, now you have 2 bundles, which is easy now. You have your flats right here on your arm, and on this hand, you have the DPS, and boom, 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 boom. Grabbing here, boom, one fell swoop. Small little tiny things that make a difference, like getting quicker at fingering the mail. Boom. So by the time you're at the next address, you have all the mail for that house in one hand. And then open, boom, boom. And then on your way to the next house, you're fingering, grabbing. So by the time you've reached to the next house, you already have it ready. That makes a huge difference. If you're going to go house to house and then finger, boom, and then walk to the next house and then finger, boom, boom, believe it or not, that can cost you a lot of fucking time. It really can. And then if you're struggling to finish the route and need to get rescued, you're like, how the fuck is that? I'm not dilly-dallying. I didn't take a fucking break. What the fuck? It's because you weren't ready at the next house with your one motion. That aspect of fingering the mail and being ready at the next house really is what can make or break you, for real. Small little shit like that. Something like that. Making the direct shortest distance from mailbox to mailbox. God, I hate that shit. Having to hunt down for the freaking mailbox. Hide and seek with the mailbox, man. I'm circling the house, don't know where the hell it is. That kills their time, too, because now I'm circling the house. I like neighborhoods that have well-marked mailboxes, man, especially if they're single-family homes. Oh, man, that's a dream route right there. There are cumbersome routes and there are dream routes. The dream routes are nice neighborhoods, one family houses, all close together in a straight fucking line. No, that's a dream. You just knock them out. You finger in the mail, you're ready for each, and you just knock out the whole fucking street quick. It's a straight line. In North Adams, you got a lot of this multi-apartment homes. And of course, they don't mark their freaking mailboxes. You know what I mean? They don't even tell you the number that's the apartment on the mailbox or even the name. And it's like, I've never been on the route before. I don't know the route that well. I don't know anybody there. So what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? I can guess that from left to right is A, B, and C, but often it's not like that. They'll freaking order the fucking mailboxes mix match. So you can't always just assume left is A, middle is B, and right is C. You know what I'm saying? That takes fucking time. You know what I mean? Country freaking crazy, man. It's nuts. So there's cumbersome routes. Now, sometimes a cluster box can be good. Sometimes a cluster box can be a pain in the ass. If the cluster box isn't marked well, and sometimes the DPS on a huge cluster box, I got this one set up. There's 10, 20, 22, and 30, 32, 40, 50, 52, and 60 and 62. They all contain 12 addresses. So that's a lot. That's a big cluster box. And the DPS doesn't put it in order. So now you're like going all over the place. So then the next time I had that route, before I headed out, I knew that address, right? I took the DPS and I put it in order. Boom, 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 per cluster box. So then when I was on that cluster box, I just was able to do one cluster to the next, to the next, to the next. Saved at least 40 freaking minutes. Because a lot of times too is like the address is 2206. Okay, cluster box 22, apartment number 6. And sometimes the person sending mail to that place doesn't put the apartment number or puts the apartment number and not the building number, which is either the 22 or whatever. You know what I mean? And so therefore, you're looking for the names, and that takes time. So as you get to know a route, for the people that are new, just look at what you've done and what you can improve on. And the next time, improve on it. Then you'll get better. Like things like that. It makes a world of difference. So that's made me faster. Yeah, post office is not bad. There's some managers that are pretty fucking micromanagerial. You just have to put your ego at the door and let it go, you know? Don't let it get to you. I get aggravated. I mean, the guy's a good guy, but always has to fucking call me, ask me if I'm okay. It's passive aggressive. He's actually asking me why I didn't finish yet. Okay. But he's not wording it like that. He's asking me if I'm all right. And of course, it's always right when I'm about to finish, too. Fucking annoys the shit out of me, man. I mean, I know from my manifest that I make, those street numbers, I put the time that I start. So I know how many packages that I have. So I know what my hourly rate is. So psychologically, it helps me because I know how fast I am. I'm not going by his fucking dipshit fucking reasoning. He really thinks that you should be able to do like 60 per hour. He's full of shit. You know, he's full of shit, dude. Not that he's a jerk. He's not. But fucking A, dude. I'm doing 25 to 35. And this is a rural setting, hills. All right. This is on the foothill of the Appalachian Trail goes through this town. So it's a freaking steep area. And you got houses up on a hill. And you're walking all the way up the hill. And I know damn well I'm not walking slow. Often I'm running to the doorstep. So bullshit. You know what I mean? Gotta let that shit go. I mean, it's a place I'm trying to get to. They like me. They think my work's good. And one of the big things is I can avoid having to be called. They never call me. You know what I mean? That shit's annoying. You know what I mean? What you're trying to imply is you're trying to imply I'm not working. You know what I mean? But I am. And you know what I'm saying? That kind of stupid shit. It'll be that kind of stuff. So sitting around at the desk, fucking around. Goes to me. You know, they're going to be wondering what you're doing out there. You know, you're being recorded, right? I'm like, let them record me, man. They can look at my scans. And they know how many I'm doing per hour. You know what I mean? So don't get sucked into that. Just know that you're doing the best you can, that you're working, and don't worry about what the fuck they say. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I know I can feed on that. I can get angry. I can get fucking disgruntled about that shit and be fucking copping a bad attitude, you know? So other than that, it's a job that you're going to get better by doing it. Repetitions, you know? You get better as you know it. And if I can tell you, man, your hands, dude. My hands are fucking hurting bad because they'll cut small little cuts. And they don't heal because your hands get wet. And fuck, man, it hurts like hell. So maybe Keith's working hands, something that's good. Protect your fucking hands. Because that's probably the hardest thing about the job. You'll get used to walking, even if you're not fit and it's tiring, you'll get used to it. Eat well, sleep well. You know what I mean? If you do that, you're going to be better. I think the people that have had the most problems is because people have lives and they're fucking out late at night and now they're going to be working in the morning and now they're fucking, you know what I mean, suffering a little bit. But I think the most difficult part of the job is keeping the fucking hands warm. I mean, everything else is all right. The fucking hands. That's the toughest part of the job, man. Especially if it's in the fall and cold and it starts to rain. I'd rather have snow. Because with snow, at least your hands are dry. They're cold, but their hands are dry. When you have like 35-degree weather and it's raining and your hands are wet because the gloves don't keep them dry, then you're fucking cold. You know what I mean? That's the hands, man. It's all about the hands. And waterproof footwear. I wear a Timberland. Not advertising for people, but my Timberland waterproof hiking boots are good. They keep my feet dry. They're good, and they're good to walk around in. That's huge. And thin coats that you can layer. So I wear 2 coats. So I can take one off and put one back on. So I can layer out. You know what I mean? So then you don't just have one thick coat. So when you're walking around and you start sweating and it's cold out, so at least then you can remove some layers. And multiple gloves. And then I put my gloves on the heater in the truck. So then I can rotate the gloves to warm gloves that have been warmed by the heater. But fucking North Adams, man, it's freaking freezing up there. It'll be 40 here and it's going to be 25 up there. Weather sucks. God, the weather, man, I tell you, it's the freaking weather, dude. All right. Stick with it. The hours, I'm in debt. I need the money. So I'm not complaining. 3 hours a day commuting fucking sucks. Because, I spend 12 hours a day working, then I have to spend 3 hours fucking driving. So as a newcomer, you're not going to get weekends off. 2 days in a row won't happen. And during the holidays, you'll work 10 days in a row. They will use a freaking holiday as a scheduled day off. That's not something I like. I think that's a dick move, but they do it. But when you become a regular, like maybe 2 years down the road, then you won't have to work Sundays, and you'll get a long weekend and shit. But as a newcomer, you're not going to get that shit. So stick it out. It'll get better. Another tip, always take your truck key and put it in the same pocket, in your back pocket. Get in the habit of putting it in your pocket so you don't lose the fucking thing. And especially the arrow key. Attach that arrow key to your belt. As you lose that arrow key, you're fired. There's no way they're not firing you. They're going to fire you. Because they have to replace the locks in the whole fucking city. If they lose that arrow key, they'll have to replace the locks. And that's a lot of money because they'll have to do it like overnight too. And so that's a fuck ton of money. They're not going to fucking let that go. They might not even let that go for a regular. You never know. Being a probationary and then being a regular, I think even a regular would get fired for that. I don't know. I wouldn't mess around. Don't lose a fucking arrow key. They got spares for the trucks, but don't fuck around with that arrow key. Attach it to your belt because if it fucking falls out of your pocket, well, it's on a chain. It's not going to be in a drain or in a ditch somewhere. You don't have to try to find it. And you never know who's watching. You never know which house has a postal worker in it who might rat you out. So don't pull cowboy shit. Follow the rules. Because they'll take you off the street to catch you without a seatbelt on. All right? For safety. Because they don't want to pay the fucking disability. All right? They don't want to pay that money. And they know that safety is what leads to them having to pay that disability insurance stuff. So therefore, they don't want to pay that shit. So wear your fucking seatbelt, park it, curb it, and take it and lock it. Always double check because you shut the door, it's shut, and you lock it, it's still fucking unlocked because they're freaking old trucks. So you have to make sure that it's locked. So even though you know it's shut, boom, it'll still fucking open. So you have to make sure of that, because they have people, dicks, some of them are dicks, walking around testing doors and shit. Not saying everybody's like that, all right? But there are those type people, and they're trying to catch people with unlocked doors and seeing if your wheels are freaking curbed appropriately. They're checking on that. So just cover your ass. You don't never know who's watching, who's recording. And you don't want to get caught doing stupid shit and then getting fired for doing stupid shit, petty shit. I saw a guy driving at night, light on in the cab, driving at a good speed. He was looking down at his phone, obviously, probably looking for the directions. He drove like more than probably a football field worth of driving and didn't even look up. I was across the street, and there was a little divide. It was a residential, and I had witnessed that. I'm like, holy shit, man. He probably doesn't realize it, you know? He didn't realize how far he drove because he got focused on where's the direction. And that's part of the post office. They'll place you in a place that you've never been in before. So you have a lot of new workers who are in a town they've never been in before. And here they are needing to deliver shit. So, of course, they're going to be using Google because they don't know the fucking town. And sometimes you're there just for one day. Like yesterday, I went to Westfield. Never delivered there. I've never been there. Here I am doing a route. You know what I mean? You follow the map. But, you know, when you're doing packages, it's kind of a little bit random. You know, so you learn the area by doing it. But, you know, so therefore people are using their Google phone map, and that's good. But when you're doing that, be pulled over. Put it in the holster and let the audio be your guide, you know? Because you don't want to get caught by a safety guy or a rat coworker who sees that and is going to fucking report you. And worse, if they're going to fucking record you, you know? You don't want to get caught doing that shit. People might not think that they're doing it. That person probably didn't realize how far he drove. If a kid or something at night or whatever hopped out in front, he wouldn't have been ready. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you want to be involved in. So be careful. It's not worth it. Don't let the management's pressure on you get you to take shortcuts. Because if you take these shortcuts and you start to cowboy up, it's only you that's going to suffer. The manager is not going to lose his job. He's just trying to get you to be faster. So it's not the manager going down, it's you going down. You know, if you get into an accident and God forbid, you fucking kill somebody. So don't let the pressure get you to take shortcuts. Because it's not worth it. It's only you that's going to pay. So override that shit. Just do the best you can. Put good, honest effort into the job. You'll be all right. Just follow the rules. Don't cowboy up for the supervisor who's going to call you on the phone, passive aggressively asking how you're doing. When actually they're asking when you're not done yet. You know what I mean? Just my words of advice. So I hope that you guys will have a good day. And I am off to work, and my weight is good. I'm 171 pounds. Consistent exercise, I guess. I'm not running because I don't have the time, but obviously walking is good because 171 pounds, it's pretty good. So I'll let you guys go. Thank you.